we have a human here, well, I'll just leave it at that. You will see. It's one of the most skilled people I know, maybe the best person I know, to bring, at least to me, and I'm sure to others, heaven on earth. He's Q Enrique Oliveras. He is, among other things, a Gong teacher, also a licensed masseuse and a licensed yoga teacher. Well, you're going to see his Qigong this evening. He's been teaching me for about just a month now. And we're going to begin with what he's been teaching me. Unless you want to tell us, and we have an amazing member of the audience. I don't know if she wants to be, her name probably doesn't want her name.
You saw her go by.
Yes, but she's
hit
there.
The camera.
She's there. She's going to focus us with her loving energy to have a good time. So I'm going to begin, Q. Well, I just took notes for the last month.
Well, before you begin,
yes.
I just want, I'd like to say to the audience that everything is Qigong. I think people have a misinterpretation of what Qigong is. There's a lot of belief that it's only one thing. Qigong is a big umbrella with a lot of different things hanging on it. I was very fortunate to have studied with Master Zhang Yuanming, who works the 5-element theory. So dancing, guess what? If you're dancing, you're doing Qigong. If you're running and you're running mindfully and watching your breath, you're doing Qigong. If you're painting, you're doing Qigong. Qi is everything. Every emotion you can experience is part of Qi. The whole life experience is Qi. So I once had somebody say to me, I'm trying to find my Qi, and I didn't understand what they were talking about and I couldn't articulate that everything is Qi. It's not about finding anything. You're already in it. You are it. So that said...
So if we're in it, the only question is to Qi well.
To Qi well, yes.
And how do we Qi well?
Well, that's a whole nother thing.
Okay, so one of the gifts, I'm just going to read the notes and Q is going to add to them. So I wondered how I could feel less vulnerable doing this. And look at the smile. Can you see it? Probably hard to. Watching Q smile, I realized if I can have a little smile on my lips and feel it inside.
This is important what he's saying.
Yeah, so where do I feel the smile inside?
Oh, the smile is always from the heart. You always smile from the heart. And when the soul in Chinese medicine resides in the liver, when the soul smiles, it's expressed through the eyes. So you know that song, those songs that talk about smiling eyes, that's a happy liver.
Oh my.
Yeah.
But I see I wasn't smiling from the heart, but now I can. But now it feels a little more vulnerable. I thought it would help me. No, I think, well, I'd like it to help me feel less vulnerable and not disassociate. But you've told me if I'm looking at you and feeling a little too vulnerable, being a body that's here, smiling helps actually.
Well, yeah.
Makes me cry.
And remember what I said about disassociation? When people disassociate, they think or put their attention somewhere else. Use it. You know, if you feel vulnerable in a room of people or with somebody and you draw in, you focus that draw in. Well, what am I going to focus on?
I space out and go into my head and into my...
Well, yeah, well that's what I'm saying. Bring it down to Dantian or bring it down to your feet.
I've learned. Dantian is an inch, see, I'm a good student, an inch and a quarter below my belly button. And it is the place where Qi begins radiating.
It's the place where all the fluids, all the organ fluids gather. They mingle in Dantian and then they're dispersed throughout the body and into the magnetic field. If you're earthy crunchy, that would be an aura to you.
So it's the place where all the energies gather?
No, it's a place where all the fluids gather.
Oh, the fluids like?
The fluids like seminal fluids, you know.
Just really sexy.
Yeah, well,
oh,
yeah. Sexual energy is very, very powerful.
An audience member handle this getting sexy, I wonder.
Sexual energy is very, very powerful. A lot of schools of thought for men believe that men should not ejaculate. You can orgasm, but you should not ejaculate. But it's just the opposite for women. Women are actually, in certain schools, are believed to to benefit from ejaculation or an orgasm with ejaculation. My experience, well, that's another show too.
Wow. But to be tantric is to let that energy go
Right, let it
up
rise.
the chakras, and we don't need, and we can just feel it, be ecstatic with it, and pay attention to our body.
Pay attention to our body.
Not to bliss out.
Well, hang on. Blissing out is actually paying attention to your body.
It is?
Yes, sure, because your endorphins are going and you're just engrossed in
Yes,
that,
but I
that
don't,
feeling.
I mean, if I touch you and just bliss out versus appreciate, I can feel your strength. It's a big difference in boy, you're strong.
Yeah.
So that's the big difference between, oh, I love touching you, and really feeling what it is I'm touching.
Oh, it's a different perspective. Yeah.
Okay, so the dantian, all the fluids gather here, and then why is it helpful? You said, which has been very helpful to me, not that I remember, to allow my mind to go here.
Right.
And I asked you how to do that. See, this is showing I'm a good student. And he said, just say, hun, hun. I can feel it. That helps.
When you say H-U-N, you want to relax the abdominals, and you want to feel this lower part kind of move forward. So yeah.
What lower part move forward?
Right below the belly button, dantian. Hun, 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 hun.
Hun, hun.
Yeah, so you'll feel it bounce forward.
Hun. Oh, bounce after internal.
Yeah,
Hun.
boom, boom, it'll push out.
Wow.
Good, very nice.
Wow, it does feel
He's a
sexy.
good student. Very nice.
Okay, next. For heaven on earth. I'm going to call our audience member. I'm going to give her a name that isn't hers. I'm going to call her Sophia, which means goddess of wisdom. Because she's extraordinarily wise. It's amazing.
She looks it actually.
Yes,
Oh, no, so.
yes. So Sophia, to bring heaven on earth, honest. I've been experiencing this. So, we'll show you the whole movement soon, but I'm just following our notes. Chest comes up, and I have learned, instead of pushing my chest out, to allow it to move the way it really wants to. And then I can join it in going out.
Right.
It initiates.
An interjection here. When he remembers it as push the chest out, but what the visualization is to lift the heart towards heaven.
Wow.
So that's really what you want to think about, is allowing the heart to rise.
Wow, and allowing, he really uses language very well.
Yeah, thank you.
Allowing the heart to rise
And touch heaven.
and touch heaven?
Mm-hmm.
And heaven's up?
Yeah, so the sternum, when you lift your sternum, your sternum goes up.
And why is it touching heaven?
Why not? Heaven is where all energy, energy's everywhere.
Oh, so I'm allowing my energy to go up.
To rise, yes.
My heart energy.
Yes, exactly.
I can love
The universe.
God just by doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And just that alone, that one practice alone is a fantastic practice. To have your feet in a parallel position and knees slightly bent. And just allow the heart to rise up and correcting the skeletal structure. And the body's going to want to move, and also allow it to move. It has its own rhythm. Call it, in India they call it, Kundalini energy.
Yeah.
But it's the same everywhere. I think throughout my decades of study, what I have found is everybody's doing the same thing. We just have different names for it, and we have different cultures that throw in whatever their cultures are biased to. But if you strip away everything, everybody's using color, everybody's using fingers, everybody's using breath, a sound. It's all the same stuff.
So when my heart is going to heaven, and I can feel I'm in an altered state.
Yeah, you can feel it.
And I should remember to keep breathing, right?
They're very important.
Not to try to capture it, right?
But also notice where your breath is going. Most people, all children, all babies, when they're born, they breathe from the diaphragm so their tummies move. And as we go on and the shock of life hits us, we start to breathe through the lungs. And the lung is where the corporeal soul resides. That's the soul that dies with us. The eternal soul resides in the liver, as I said before.
And the liver is here?
The liver is either your ribs, on the other side, these are your ribs, right underneath your ribs. They take up this entire space. And right in here is a little bulb. It's your gallbladder.
Yes, but one thing at a time I ask you. Okay, so this is the liver. I know what liver looks like. Wow, I can feel, I'm thanks to Q, I'm learning I have organs inside.
Yeah, it's a huge organ.
Who would have guessed?
A couple of years ago I was in meditation and we had those big snowstorms. And I was up at like, liver time is 2 in the morning. And I was up doing liver meditation and I actually felt the whole thing drop an inch. It just released. If I hadn't known what was going on, I would have went to the hospital. But I knew that was my liver, and it was just such a profound feeling to feel it just go, to just let go and realize that, life is not going to break it, that I just need to relax.
I think if I relax, because I can feel I'm a deer in the headlight feeling this heaven energy. But if I really relax, it can just go.
I wish you could see his eyes, and I wish you could see the back of the structure, because you can really feel the spine, him reaching with the crown of the head and the spine opening.
Wow, it's vulnerable because I'm used to.
Yeah, of course, everybody's used to covering up
Yes,
and,
this is so nice.
protecting their heart. You see somebody like this, they're protecting their heart.
Yes, I've had to.
And as you see, I go like this, I want to give you my heart. The difference is that I learned how to dodge, so when you try to get it, it's not really there.
Say that a little bit more.
Well, I take this, people always say don't wear your heart on your sleeve, and I always say it's okay to wear your heart on your sleeve, just learn how to dodge, right? And if people go for your heart, these are not the people you want. So I said the same thing with my heart here. I don't mind exposing my heart because I know how to dodge. If you know how to dodge, it's a lot harder for
I'm going to sing the beginning of a song to Sophia.
You said you weren't giving it good. Oh, that's her name. That's the name you gave her.
Yes, the name I gave her.
My bad.
If I give my heart to you, will you handle it with care? Will you always treat me tenderly and in every way be fair? Will you cry with me when I'm sad? Sigh with me when I'm glad, and always be as you are with me tonight. And then such great lyrics for the 1950s. Think it over and be sure. Please don't answer till you do. Will you always treat me tenderly if I give my heart to you?
And Qigong in song. Very nice.
Because you've helped me now really do it.
I didn't help you do anything. I just pointed the way you did the work.
For heaven and earth, let heart go toward heaven. Shoulders back, yes.
The shoulders go back once you lift the sternum.
Oh, but first, yes, and then they go back maybe naturally?
Yeah, they do. When you lift the sternum, the structure of...
so I don't have to move them back?
No, you don't have to do anything, just lift the sternum. Lift
wow, that's so much better.
Yeah.
Hips back slightly.
So what does that mean? What that looks like is, it looks like a sit. It looks like you're about to sit into a chair. So it's like, people say, do a pelvic tilt. That's actually incorrect. If you look at the classic writings, it says that the spine should be plumb straight. So if you do a pelvic tilt, you're going to distort the spine from sacrum.
So I'm doing it now, yes, this is true.
Let's turn so the audience can see. Alright, so you see how his, let's go a little bit further, more of an angle, thank you. So you see how this is actually slanted in, so that is a sign that you are not in the place you need to be.
Well,
there you go. So that's a nice straight spine now. But to you it feels crooked, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so turn to face your audience. So it really is like your.
But I can get into this. I can get,
Good.
if I get onto the balls of my feet.
Okay, turn that right heel out a bit. Now what I find is, oftentimes people don't have the perfect parallel feet, and what I find is if I tell them to turn the foot in or out, they muck it up. But if I ask them to move the heel, they get it perfect every time,
Wow.
every time.
At least, oh, I just did it. Shift weight to balls of feet. Oh my,
Yeah, so you want to get the, they call it the bubbling well. It's actually kidney 1. If I show it to you, if this were my foot, it would be right there in between these two
whoa.
bony.
It's a little awkward, but I
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
going to feel awkward at first. But when you get it just right, you're going to feel a nice flow of saliva into the mouth.
Now, the next, all this I learned from you, this is hard, keep the flow at the same speed when you're moving.
Right.
And I found one way that might help is from my dantian, which means, what does the word mean?
Cinnabar field.
Which is
Cinnabar is a crystal.
oh,
And it's poisonous, and they used to drink it in an elixir, and most of them died. But that's all part of the path.
so it's
Shaman is supposed to die and then
So it's a
return.
field that has crystal in it, huh? Boy, so it's really like a crystal,
And it's red.
or red crystal in like a color of a
Red crystal,
chakra.
yeah.
Right. And I've discovered if I move from there, we're going to now bring earth into our body. And Q says, just feel my feet on the floor.
So right now this is called central equilibrium. He's just allowing his body to find its center point and
Wow.
allow everything to release.
Not doing anything, really.
Not doing, yeah, you're just allowing the body to find its proper place or balance or
And if I
imbalance.
disassociate a little because I'm vulnerable, I can go into disassociation.
Yes, you can.
Ooh. And that helps me come back.
Yeah.
I exaggerated. Solve one of the great problems of my life. So now I can invite earth energy to come into my body, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my kinesphere, the energy around me.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it.
And
There's a
how,
little,
and how are we going to do that? We're going to do that with the arms, right? We're going to draw.
and our arms, our elbows go out.
The elbows go out to expose the armpits a bit, heart 1.
And then I turn one hand parallel to the hip and the other hand with the elbow still out. And then I reach, or to be more precise.
That's correct, but you want to start the reach right away. So he's going to reach down, and the reason for the reach is you don't want to strain. You want to separate the joints.
And I like the words, allow my hand to reach and then join it.
And if you were watching, you can see that his hands actually got a little bit further past. And the more you can't see it, but the more he's thinking of it, the more space he's creating between the joints.
But I can't
And can you
overemphasize.
see that?
Instead of
It's pretty
doing
freaky
with
to
my
look at.
will, to let my arms decide themselves to reach, and then I can join it if I want.
Relax the fingers just a little bit.
Relax
Good,
them,
here we
yeah.
go. So you want them firm, but you don't want them tight. Tightness is associated with death, stagnation,
I'm gonna live longer if I execute.
God willing.
Okay, you'll know if you see this on. And then reaching out really, pulling in earth.
Now notice he's still pushing out, he's reaching out, so he still has that nice length in the arms. I can actually feel and see the joints separating and drawing energy from earth.
And then I can move toward
Heaven.
heaven energy, sky energy. And you can really, oh no, I don't look up. I've learned.
Yeah, you don't have to look up.
But I
you do
can
wanna-
feel the arm.
You do want to continue to work that structure. So
Yeah.
here's where I'm going to ask you to really open up that sternum.
Wow, I
Yeah.
might be able to love someone this way. I mean, I love Sophia, so I don't need help. But with anybody else, I need help.
So reach. You want to feel the ribs separate from the, very nice, from the waist. Careful not to let the tummy come forward. Usually when the tummy comes forward like that, as a therapist, it indicates to me that a person is trying to nourish their earth element.
Yes,
Nice big deep breath. Okay,
forgot
keep the
that.
mouth closed and the tongue at the
Oh
roof
yes,
of the mouth.
so it's starting to get hard.
Tongue at the roof of the mouth. Good. Yeah, and you can hold any of these as long as you want.
Oh, and look forward though, right?
Forward is better for you. It's going to be different for everybody, but to correct the structure, you want to keep the head right out, lifting towards heaven.
And then the wrists.
And you see him swallowing? That's a good indication he's got it right. Once the mouth starts to saliva, you've got a good position. So again, if you find that you're doing this, you're off. Really want to feel those arms reaching. The elbow should be almost straight. There you go.
Wow.
Keep the fingers separated. The hands are satellite dishes. When you close them up, you're not receiving any energy. So you want to keep the fan.
Oh, I can feel it.
Yeah, you want to keep them fanned open.
Thank you.
Reaching.
God, thank you for coming and joining us. Wow, you can feel universe energy.
So while we're up here, to loosen up all the the rhomboids in the back and into the neck, and it just starts to
What
get
is
to
a
the neck.
rhomboid for those of us who've been reading too much
Rhomboids,
poetry?
they're between the scapula or your
Shoulder.
what is shoulder blades, so yeah, and the spine. And this, you can put your hands down. Let's talk about that for a minute because it's important. Let me turn Mikey around all the way. So this is the scapula, right here, and the space in between here is the rhomboids.
Rhomboids are muscles?
Rhomboids are muscles. Now these are muscles and a line that's associated with the gallbladder. And most of the time people, this gets really messed up. We're always using our eyes, we're always organizing, the gallbladder doesn't like that. But we're always like this, and that keeps the rhomboids active. So that's why it's so important to sit correctly and lift that chest to release the rhomboids. And I do, as a body worker, these are two of the spots that I really focus on.
I shouldn't tell the audience for their experience beyond belief.
Now,
if you're lucky enough to get Q as a body worker.
Now, if you squeeze
what is it? Henry Oliveras there's a website, yes?
Enrique Oliveras LMT. You'll find me on Facebook.
Enrique Oliveras.
Yeah. Let me do this. Let me tell them about this, Mike.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got two sets of erectors on the back. Would you mind? And you'll feel them. They're like two lines that come down. You probably already feel them all the time. But when you're working these, you want to pinch going that way and then pinch going this way as well. And that usually will release them pretty quickly.
I don't think I understood that.
That's okay. It was for the audience more than for you. I can actually do it to you so you can actually feel what I'm talking about. So, when we lift, again, and you know, your mind intention should be clear. The moment you lift, you want to imagine that you're pulling earth energy up like it's taffy. You should be able to feel it, and the arms move like two wings, fluid. Notice my elbows are up. And you'll see my shoulders start to lift a little bit, but I keep my arms ahead of them. So I still feel that in the ribs. Lifting
I'm going to look at you now. Okay.
Lift up and note, again, you see, it really looks like wings here. And I can feel that I want to collapse, but I'm keeping that sternum open. And I'm going to do some circles going back. And here's where my African dance training really, well, this helped my African dance training. You want to get the chest opening and closing. So you can also accomplish that by moving just the chest.
Oh my.
Right? Which is big in African dance.
We have 2 minutes for the first part of the show. We'll be back for another 27 minutes. At 7:30.
So nice big reach. You want to keep those up, and if it goes into the head and neck, go ahead and move the head and circles. And the image here is stirring the stars, the sun, and the moon.
This is good for the eclipse tomorrow. Thank you, moon.
And receiving from heaven. Again, you want to feel those ribs separating, so you really want to reach. Now, when I tell people that enjoy money and need motivation, I say there's a $1,000 bill on the ceiling, and everybody reaches a little bit. Yeah, see, everybody.
Now, if I feel tension in my shoulders, what do I do?
Move the head left and right, and do the circles behind your head. So you really want to feel, you know, you want to feel the spine, or I've got a little curve now, and then close. So you want to feel this kind of concave, and then an arch, and then concave, and an arch. And some of you will be able to do this better than others, depending on...
So if my energy goes into my hands, there's less tension in my shoulders.
I don't know about that.
Oh.
Can you get that further back for me? Yeah, there you go. So real reach back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you want to really reach back. You want to arch the back
Ooh.
and then come forward and arch and come forward. Stirring the stars, sun and moon.
Okay,
Attach
wrap it
to
up.
heaven.
25
and
seconds, say
Drawing
goodbye.
heaven down. Drawing heaven down to earth.
Wow.